Live. I'm also live on YouTube at Hope FM Live, and I've titled this very short devotion here, True Freedom. Tutaanzia na what true freedom looks like, and hopefully, even get to answer the question, Karisi, if he who the Son sets free is free indeed, then why am I feeling like bado niko kuna vitu nimeshikwa and yet mimi nimeokoka? You can confidently say you have the Son in you, but then the freedom aspect. So we're going to look at what this freedom is, and also try to see some of the hindrances to us, fully experiencing this freedom as the word says. So I'm going to read John chapter 8 verse 20-36, and this was a dispute. And this dispute is over whose children Jesus' opponents are. Okay, so sisi ni wa Yesu, wale wenye wajaokoka ni wanani, So now the Jews were having this dispute. To the Jews who had believed him, Jesus said, "If you hold to my teaching, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." And they answered him, "We are Abraham's descendants and have never been slaves of anyone. How can you say that we shall be set free?" Jesus replied, "Very truly I tell you, everyone who sins is a slave to sin. Now a slave has no permanent place in the family, but a son belongs to it forever. A slave does not have a permanent place in the family, but a son belongs to it forever. So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed." So if the Son sets you free, you'll be free indeed. So there are those Jews, who had believed Jesus, and still they look at themselves as the Abraham's descendants. So we cannot be Abraham's descendants and be yours also. So what are you telling us about this freedom? And just looking at two scenarios here, you and the ladies can help me here. You are a lady and married, so there's a husband and a lady, and the other table there's a husband and a lady, and this one husband picks karatasi and starts reading. You are 5'2", that is tall. You weigh 85 kgs. You were born in December, and you have curly hair and stuff. Very factual. So kile amesoma ndio reality. And then another on the other side, just looks at the wife, and she's like, you walk in beauty. The day you were born, this and this, God took time to create you. Anaongea tu bado. Kuna ule mwingine atasema, really baba nani, and the other one will be like, oh. And maybe that explains why poetry is very important. Yeah. And so this mention of poetry here is to introduce the idea of what Jesus is speaking about in John chapter 8. He does not use poetry, but he is proclaiming information that is explosive, emotional, and also transformational. And this is the information we are going to decipher. So the concept of truth, sin, and freedom. Now, this is like a blank, answers from a Sunday school quiz. Yeah, it's more than that, like a blank answer from a Sunday school quiz. Now, we look at a possibility of freedom, because Jesus is giving us here a glimpse that indeed you can be free. And he makes one of the most amazing inspirational claims in history. Consider for a moment the incredible hope expressed in the promise that Jesus can set people free. Last week on Wednesday, I was saying that why we need Jesus, why Jesus, is because with or without Jesus, number one, without Jesus, we were condemned to die. That's the penalty of our sin. So with Jesus, there is a remedy for that, and that is what Christ is introducing here. There is a hope. Now imagine you are in a place where you are hopeless, and then all of a sudden you realize there is a hope. There is a possibility of freedom. So unless you've lived a sheltered life, you have probably experienced an enslaved soul, or have known loved one who struggle to break free from ungodly chains. And maybe you have struggled before to break free. The ungodly chains may be easy to identify, like an immoral addiction, or the chains may be more acceptable, even like fear, greed, poverty, worldliness, doubt, anger, bitterness, legalism, racism, insecurity, despair. Whatever category you classify your slavery, the result is the same. A failure to experience the abundant life promised by following Christ, then you are going to be in bondage. And now, to those living in bondage, Jesus offers freedom. So the freedom offered by Jesus is spiritual, number one. His freedom is not a political revolution, apana. True freedom is not about changing your outward circumstances. This is a significant concept because it reveals that Jesus can free you wherever you are. So number one, it's not a location takupata wherever you are, Jesus can free you. So Paul was on the road to Damascus. Alikuwa anaenda kufanya nini? Kumaliza wafuasi wa Yesu. Freedom got him on his way to Damascus. Peter was in a boat fishing. One woman was drawing water from a well. Another woman found freedom when caught in adultery. A thief was on a cross of execution when Jesus set his soul free. So don't think I have to be somewhere. I have to go somewhere. I have to be doing something else for me to receive this freedom. Hapana. Jesus' freedom is also purposeful. He offers resulting from abiding in his truth. Freedom is not a lack of restraint that allows one to fulfill any selfish desires, but genuine freedom takes place in the arena or stadium of divine truth. So, as we abide in Christ, we are released from the chains of the world and released to be all that God created us to be. So, in the next sharing of true freedom, we will look at the perils of freedom. Even though Jesus clearly declares that freedom was possible, the sad reality is that a few experience it. Now, why is it that the truth is that there is freedom and the other reality is that a few experience it? What are the perils? What are we doing wrong? What do we need to change? What do we need to change to receive this freedom? So I continue with this conversation tomorrow.
FM. It's now 4 p.m.